What up? If you would like to build a seven or multi-seven figure content strategy, this is going to be an amazing training for you. It's me walking a client of ours through who wants to attract more eight-figure business owners into his ecosystem and have them pre-sell themselves before they actually get to a sales call with him at the same time as well. I'm going to walk you through top of funnel content and how to actually get people who are eight-figure worthy, top of funnel aware, wanting what you are selling before they even get into a call with you, how to actually get them to middle of funnel and actually pre-convert themselves before they decide to actually buy, how to get them from content to call all the way through to pre-conversion using a couple of different types of content through the whole funnel, and how to actually do so for high level business owners who sell in between 7 to 8 figures per year themselves right now. The idea behind this is that you can watch it, use what's in it, and I'll give you a template at the end of it to be able to utilize for your own business too. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think.
You bet, I'm here.
Welcome, man. How can I help?
So I am very new to the program and been working through my offer linking map.
Mhm.
I would be happy to have some ideas on content.
Send me a
Want
link
some
to
more
the map.
context.
Send me a link to the map for the best.
Cool. Shoot, how do I do that?
When you say content, if you could wave a magic wand and tell me, if I put this content up, what's going to happen next? Like, what's the response if this happens from this? Like, what's the outcome you want from this? From me giving you an answer on this stuff? What would it be? Is it, I put posts up, I get clients, I put posts up and it just makes me feel good because I said something, actually spoke about the right problems, or something else in particular? Because I'm genuinely curious, because I think everyone has a different perspective on what content purpose is. And I would like to know, if you have an answer, that would be great. If you don't, I'm just going to give you a bunch of ideas that I don't know if are going to be relevant, if that makes sense.
I just dropped the Canva link here in the messages. I don't know. Do you have Canva?
Yeah. Do you have an answer to the question that I shared at all?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Cool.
So I
Okay.
want to turn it into money. I want to turn it into money.
Yeah. So, where is money made from this process? Do you know?
Is that a trick question?
No, it's actually not. Legitimately.
Okay. Cool. The money would be made, I guess, when you sign them on as clients and you actually get some money in the bank.
Hmm. I mean, like, you're definitely not wrong, right? So this is credit card being taken.
Mhm.
This is sales call. This is discovery call. And this is messenger. And this is content.
Mhm.
So the money's actually, the money actually starts here and messenger. Content doesn't, like, content itself doesn't necessarily make money. Like, ads themselves don't necessarily make money, right? Like, ads are just a way to get people to speak to, if that makes sense, right? And the reason I'm communicating it this way as opposed to money making content, right, is because I think what people want to hear is like, man, you fucking do this person, you make so much money, and it just doesn't happen that way, right? Um,
Mhm.
and I think that what people really want when they say that is like, how do I get more conversation started? Is probably more accurate
Yes.
from
No, agreed. You bet.
okay.
Warm them up with that content, help to build trust. And yeah, when we get on an actual discovery call, then the process is so much easier.
Cool. So I'm going to give a different one now. Well, I'm full of fucking great drawings today. Is Kevin still here? I think so. Yeah, you know why the laughing's happening too, right? Because Farris has great drawings, Billy is it? Um. Okay, so this is like, let's call this. Let's be real fucking marketers right now. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel. Does everyone else feel like a real big marketer right now? Yeah? Doing some marketing stuff? Yeah? Very good. Um, so let's call this side content, and then this side is going to be sales process. So this is our cool, and Kevin, just give me some credit here. Like this is better than Faris's drawings today, right? Much better.
I don't know, bro.
He drew a pretty good cloud. Um, so this here, right? If we're going to do this and do it properly, on the sales process side, this is sales call, right? This is
Yes.
triage call, or let's just call it discovery call for lack of better terminology, right? And this here is messenger. You know what? This could actually probably be like in the same category if I'm entirely honest. Mhm. Or like this like bridges because it can be top or middle of funnel. With like it just depends on what like how you drink your coffee that morning as to where you would decide where it is. If that makes sense. Um. So here, what we're going to do is if we're thinking about what these look like, you've got two different types of content that sit within top of funnel, right? You've got like awareness type content, right? And then you have further down here is offer content. Then we have middle of funnel, which is conversion content, and bottom of funnel, which is offer content again. So this is like offer slash lead gen content. And then this is offer slash conversion content. Now I need to uh, make different definitions around these things too. And the reason why I'm showing it in this way, because the question that you asked was actually about how to make money from this. And if I were to just give you do this content piece, that would be fucking stupid. Um, and the idea here is that there is content that you put out that you expect to make zero money from. This is awareness and offer slash lead gen content. You don't expect to make money from this ever, right? It would be dumb to expect to make money from this in a really big way because it is purely just like it owns a job, right? It owns the job of perspective shifting and creating interest. That's all it's for. It's just for those two, right? Or like the awareness stuff up here anyway. So let's just put a line in between these. And then this one is for generating opportunity, right? So that'll sit here and it might sit just above Messenger, if that makes sense, because you might go like normal content, which is where each new person, so like new audience member, whatever else that it is, comes in, and they start to see perspective shifting content and interest creating content. So let's go to my profile and talk through both of those, right? So like, first I put up today, right? Like this is just me talking about sitting, because I was sitting in the office, I'm like, and like thinking about from my perspective, right? Like uh if I don't accept the things that come as a consequence of the good things in my life, i.e., the doubt, fear, anger, despair, frustration, anger, terror, disdain, disappointment. If I don't accept love and choose to be grateful for those things, I actually block all the things that I really enjoy out and block more of the good things that I want coming in as a consequence of that too. Right. So this is like perspective awareness content. If someone were to work with me, not to say that they would remember this person and go, fuck yeah, that was the thing that made me buy, but it's something that makes people think different. right? So it's definitely not a conversion piece of content in any way, shape, or form. Definitely offers a shift of perspective. And it might create not interest in the product or service, but interest in, that Chris guy might be someone I want to work with one day because I like his perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Any questions around that? Because like I'll just keep asking as we go through this too. Because like I'll definitely get to the how to use it for yours too. But I wanted to just break it down in this way, so it's like understanding how they all get used in different ways too. So any questions on that just yet?
No, this is great. I appreciate it.
No, I got you, man. I got you. Then you have like generating opportunity conversations or content, which is funny enough, like this offer, right? Like I put this up. Honestly, we put up like 4 posts and signed like 8 or 9 clients the past week, right? Um, and it was just purely like good promise. Might be a great way to describe it, right? Good promise, good hook, whatever else that it is. But this only worked well, realistically, because of like, a lot of this happening over a period of time, right? So like a lot of perspective shifting and creating interest-based content made it so that as I put something like that offer out, right? And a couple of things exist. Number one is that the offer was good, right? Number two is that so much of this happened over a period of time that when someone has a shift, like when someone has already bought into the idea that working with you would be a good idea, if you put a good offer out and it's not the wrong time for them, they'll probably fucking opt in, right? Like that's the cool thing. Um, And generating opportunity based content can be like a direct offer, which is, similar to this, or it can be like the ones that you've probably opted into 800 times before you became a client of ours, right? Which is to all of you, not just you, Daniel, but I know you did. um, but it's like just things like this, right? Like, the lead magnets or 2 steps or things that would just get someone to start a conversation with you in Messenger as opposed to, hey, buy my shit, right? Now, the idea here is that, you know, based off this, and if we think about this in context as well, we want to do more of this content so that we can expand the perspective, desire, and alignment inside someone else's head that they have that working with us at the least would not be a bad idea. It doesn't have to be a good idea. It just has to be that it wouldn't be a bad idea. Right? In a sea of people out there who are telling you that I'm king shit and I'm the best thing you'll ever buy, people are sick of getting fucked over by people like that. And what people are looking for is to mitigate risk, right? So if you can show them in your perspective shifting and interest creating content that in the worst case scenario, you just aren't a bad option for them to purchase from, that's level one. You just don't want to be a bad option, right? The second you fall into bad option category or territory, you're fucked, right? But if you can display that in the worst case, I'm just not a bad option, quit, right? Now you can build on that because they've already got a positive association inside their mind of Daniel equals at least not a shit person. That's fucking base level one stuff, right? Because the second you fall into Daniel equals shit person, we're all fucked, right? So we just don't want to do that. And the way to do that is to do perspective shifting and interest creating content, which is when you see us talk about, and I'll bring up the beautiful image of it for you, is the problem content, envy content, evidence content. These are the ones that probably have the biggest swing. If I were to, well, that didn't work. So we'll just check it there. I thought it was going to bring up the cool boxes. It's like problem content, envy content, evidence content. And then like, because you can shift perspective with all of these too, right? Is kind of the idea that will create interest at the same time. Just like problem content for you, if you have this here, is like, cool. If you are a body shop who's stuck at 200K, is that MRR? Is that right?
Yeah, just monthly revenue.
Cool. So if you're stuck at 200 grand monthly revenue, right? And you've been trying to get to 10 million annual revenue for the past 6 years. I'm willing to bet it's these three things that are preventing you from getting there, right? Or like when, a great way that I like doing other problem content is, I think I did a post last night while I was laying in bed thinking about you guys. You like that? Thinking about you guys while I was in bed? You like that? Um, my wife just looked at me like she's going to stab me. So I hope you guys really, really, really care that I was thinking about you guys in bed because she might stab me and that might be the end of all of us. Let's not have that happen. Um, but it's like, think about a buddy of mine who's got a seven-figure business early tonight. And it's like the reason why so many people jump between 40 and 80K, because like it really is the value, right? Like 40 to 80K, I've noticed is like a place where people can go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, because of so many different things that happen. And it's because they aren't actually selling to the right problem in their marketing. As a consequence of that, they're not getting the type of client they want. And as a consequence of that, they're not able to actually bring people in consistently as opposed to the inconsistency they're taking in right now. Stuck in delivery, all these different things. But I'm creating problem awareness in this, which is a tiny bit of solution in it at the same time too, right? Which is all based off my own personal perspective, no one else's, right? It's based off my experience, my perspective, everything else that comes with that then too. So for you, a version of that may very well be, it's okay. Maybe you have been trying to get to 10 million in average annual revenue a year. You keep getting stuck at the 2 to 300 grand. Let me tell you why I see most people getting stuck at 200 grand. It's this, and this. And the solution is usually a better, consistent recruiting strategy and a sales process that doesn't make you want to, crawl through glass instead of doing the sales process, right? Or something to the effect of that. It doesn't have to be that verbatim, right? But it's just like you're just marketing the reason why people aren't where they want to be. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And my suspicion is for you is that you probably do this wildly frequently right now anyway, meaning that you probably actually have this conversation with people on calls when you're speaking to them. It's like, man, I see this happen all the time. The reason you probably with this and this, and this is what I do in that situation. And most people are totally cool to do that on call, but the magic is when you do it and say, hey, let me think about this. What conversations did I have with prospects, clients, or someone in the market today? What was the conversation? How did I frame my argument? And then how do I write a post about it? Because the post doesn't need to be anything other than like, hey, this happened today. Speaking with, this guy today and this happened, right? Have you spoken with anyone in the past 7 days? We've had a conversation of why they aren't where they want to be.
I think I have, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
Well, you signed someone up today, right?
Not today.
Like within the past week, I'm pretty sure I saw something, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah, you bet I have. Yep.
Right. So
I know one of, I know
right
one
you
of,
have, buddy. Damn fucking right you have.
I know one of, yeah, the one of them is definitely, he did not sign up yet, but he has a lead flow problem.
He didn't sign up yet. Should we go and get those drive-bys?
Can we get him on the
spoke
call?
about earlier? No, like
Let's do some drive-by.
drive to method. Let's go get mixed buddy boys to go do that for us. Let's fucking do this.
You're signing up tonight.
Fucking, you're getting in. Easy. You're dead. Anyway, so recall this, right? It's like if you're having a conversation, like where was this guy stuck? Why was he stuck there? And what should he have done? Or what do you see the best people doing that you can actually help people with? Because that's a post within itself, right? That's a great perspective shifting post, right?
Yeah.
Great perspective shifting post.
I definitely have material that I can work from using that methodology.
Totally. And the idea of having this here is just to give you, okay, cool. You just want to make sure that everything you're talking about comes back to this, right?
Gotcha.
And so like for us, if you see me do call outs in the marketing, it's usually to people who want to be $1 million business owner or more. This is actually a great example of a evidence piece of content. It's obviously ridiculously fucking simple, but there was like it ended up being close to 180 grand in sales that we saw in the group chat, right?
Great.
It's like, dude, Like, of course, that's great evidence content. Like, here's evidence that what we do works, but it also couples as envy content, right? So evidence content is like, hey, if I had to sit in front of of a judge and tell people like, can you actually give me a result? Well, yeah, here's the fucking evidence, bro. Right? Like, here it is. Like, enjoy. He's proof. Um, and then you've got like envy, because like this can double as an envy piece too, where it's like, I obviously do it in a very like tongue in cheek way. He's right. It's like, over 100 to client, over 100K for clients today. Like, I guess we don't suck, right? Um, a lot of people see this stuff and like it kind of pisses them off inside, and they envy that this is what's happening for you guys as opposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of like in many cases the tongue in cheek nature, as opposed to it being like, hey, look at how fucking great we are. Like, I typically don't do that. I typically just I'm a lot more nonchalant about it, and as a consequence of that, it creates more envy than it does anything else. And I like doing that, right? And it works really well at like great top of funnel content because, like, dude, you if you model over problem content, envy content, evidence content, they now have that association inside their mind's eye of like Daniel being fucking shit. And we also all agree, can we all agree, hands up, agree in agreement here, that if we don't believe that Daniel's going to get mixed guys to do a shooter, whatever it's called, a drive-by? That's cool. We're all there. Um, we're all there. We're all there. Very good. But the idea is that there's a positive association to the people who are the right shit for you and what you do here, as opposed to a negative association. As long as you're speaking about problems that are above the level of 200 like grand per month, right? Because if you're speaking about problems they've already graduated from, i.e., like how to get leads, bro, these guys don't need fucking leads for themselves. They probably need leads for a team, or their team aren't performing the way they need to be, or whatever else it is, right?
Right.
So as long as we aren't speaking about a problem that is under their current circumstance, you'll still have their attention and have a positive association. Because you want them to not just like you, but respect you because it's a respect level, because they feel like you understand their problem. And the way to best do that is to use what's on here at the same time too. So when I'm doing this, I like to think about, okay, cool. Because if you're looking for like tactical stuff, because I gave some philosophy, but he's tactical in this now, right? Go back and every time you have a conversation with a client, prospect, or fuck it, man, even a friend who's in the industry, right? Um, and you want to write a post, go, okay, cool. Sit here and look at this and ask yourself, what conversations have I had in the past 24 hours, 2 hours, 3 days with someone? And what has the main point of contention or topic been that fits into this category here right now? And how can I communicate my argument to someone if they were sitting in front of me, and think about it as you're speaking to one person, and think about the conversation you were having with your friend, client, prospect, whatever else that it is. Imagine someone trying to argue the opposite and say, no, you're a fucking idiot. Here's why what you're saying is stupid. Here's my argument as to why that's not the case. Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to take notes and wasn't doing it quite fast enough.
That's
Basically,
okay.
use conversations that, and I'm getting pushback on something and my idea, and basically write conversation in a post.
Correct. Dude, that's like half my marketing. Half my perspective shifting marketing anyway too, right? Like, this is a great example of a post that I put up the other day. That was actually, oh, I must have just signed someone up. Let's go. Um, must have been, so this was like, I'm doing a perspective shifting and interest creating post for sales reps, actually, funnily enough, right? Like for people to come and work with us. But it's actually, funnily enough, it's a perspective shifting interest creating post that's based off evidence and problem and envy all in one. Like, when you get good at this, you can get good at this. Meaning, like, I could say, cool. Like, most sales reps suck in office because they don't get a good fucking opportunity to work with it, and the person they're working with doesn't actually give too much, like, two fucks about them. Here's my argument as to why that happens and why you would never have that happen in our offer. With first talking through Carl's story himself too, right? Because for me, I'm always looking for, new team, as well as I'm also looking for, new clients at the same time too, right? Because we're at a stage where we can do that. Funnily enough, this is actually, um, an event or like an awareness post too, right? Like this event that we went to is run by some of the biggest sales training organizations collectively came together and ran an event here on the weekend. And this is the whole event literally singing me happy birthday, right? Um, which also gives me a level of status that many people wouldn't also got the opportunity of being able to see that too, right? Just by posting this, it creates a, oh shit, Chris must be worth listening to. Does that make sense?
Mhm. 100%.
Right? Um, then we have
Let
generating
me take a
opportunity
picture of that.
content.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, no, which we're taking a picture of.
No, I was going to take a picture of the funnel. I thought you were going to move on, but if you're
Oh,
still
no, 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 no,
on
no,
there, I just want to
no,
grab a,
brother, we're still going. Don't worry. This is being recorded too, yeah? Just so you know. Did you get your photo? Did you get me? Did you get me flexing?
there we go.
Um, yeah. So like generating opportunity content is like one in two, meaning that it is like there's two types of generating opportunity content. One is indirect and one is direct, right? So like indirect is two-step posts with lead magnets, right? So like these on these, the triage of a swipe up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's direct offer posts, which is like, hey, you suck if you don't come work with me, obviously, right? And the idea is that like one generates a client, one generates a conversation, but realistically, both of them actually generate a conversation. One of them is just more direct. I typically don't do direct that often. I do it because I don't want to burn the audience out. And the actual reason for the indirect is actually just to start conversations. It's designed to nurture. It's not designed to get clients. It's designed to nurture and get a conversation started more than it is actually get a client, right? Now, why I still like using these on a weekly basis is because it starts a shitload of conversations that you can go into message and find out where someone's at, where they want to be, why they're not there yet, and if they'd like some help getting to their goal at the same time too. Now, for you, I can see here that you've already very eloquently written that this is content, ideas, and lead magnets, right? Now, let's have a look at each specific one. So, setting up standardization, sales process, and systems, right? So setting up standardized sales processes and systems, right? Now, off the top of my head, if you by chance could put together uh, a sales leadership or getting to 8 figures sales playbook as a giveaway, my lord, that would crush because this would be a perfect giveaway for setting up a standardized sales process and system or sales playbook that filter both through these sales systems and processes that a 8 figure organization would use. My lord, that would crush, right?
Yes.
And then after you've had all these conversations that are 8 figure level conversations in your content that shift perspective and create interest because you're talking about all the reasons why people aren't there, aren't there, or that do get there and fall back, like all the reasons why that might be happening, right? And then when you put out a playbook that matches the perspective that you've created, it's really hard for people who have been watching long who actually give a shit to not opt in,
Makes sense.
right? Really hard for that to not happen. Now, the other cool thing you have here too is every time you create something like that example of the playbook, right? You also have hundreds of people in content that have been liking your shit every single day that you can say, and you can proactively reach out to them for even the people who didn't actually opt into the stuff in the first place and say, hey, I notice you keep liking my content specifically when it's around 8 figure stuff. I just put out an 8 figure sales playbook that we use for our clients. Would you still like a copy of that at all? Because I noticed you engaged with all the 8 figure stuff, but you didn't ask for this. Would you like a copy of that? Right. So like there's multiple different ways to skin that cat. Now you have content that you can use for a level of conversion at the same time. That makes sense.
100%. You bet.
And now we're in the world of conversion content. So this starts opportunities and conversations, and this is definitely more about content than it was about sales process side. But now we're in a messenger conversation, right? when you're in Messenger and you're getting someone to a discovery call or a sales call, right? When you ask someone to come to a call and they say they have a problem with, lead gen or whatever else that it is, or, just putting an example out there, right? Conversion content, maybe a live training you've just recently done, or a YouTube video, or uh, uh, a client interview, or something to the effect that, if that makes sense, right? It's something that takes this perspective and has them spend 8 minutes to 400 hours listening to the reasons why that perspective exists and examples of that in a way that has them align with it even deeper and more to see that you're the shit yet again. And you can send that to someone prior to a call, before a discovery call, so their interest level actually increases again. Now, if we're going to come up with ideas for that, you could do a live training on any of these topics that you want. Say, hey, this is the 8-figure, man, call 8-figure websites. How to build an 8-figure website. Or what, like what 8-figure lead nurturing systems looks like that are for big sales teams. So when you see someone say that, hey, my problem right now is X, Y, Z, it's like, cool, man, let's catch up. Before we catch up, here's something for you to watch too. So their perspective increases, or the width of the gap that they had in perspective prior to working with you increases. So you increase the gap of perspective. It's dissonance is the wrong word, but you widen the gap of knowledge that they don't have now. So by the time that they get to you, now they're going, oh fuck, like this is someone that could really help me. And now we're in a position, and that could be done with any video, right? Like if you go to any of the YouTube videos I've done, or any of the live trainings I've ever done, like they all can be used as conversion content pieces, and you use them all very intentionally for each different prospect that you speak to, right? And then we have, come back here, the offer and conversion content. So now we've taken a discovery call. We find out where they want to be, why they're not there now. If they have the money to do something, they want to do something now. And, the cat and, their cat and their cat's boyfriend don't need to be on that call to make a decision. Right? These are important people to ask about, because people are either going to want to speak to their cat or need to pray before making a decision, both of which are ridiculous. But the idea is that, okay, cool. Now in between discovery call and sales call, what can we send them that actually walks them through the 3 main problems that we solve, the way that we actually help solve those problems, and the way that we actually are going to deliver on that at the same time too. Wouldn't you know, if you just pulled out Loom and did a 7-minute recording on this video and say, hey, this is where most people start with us. This is where they finish. These are the 3 main things that they focus on, or these are the 3 main things that we actually focus on with them to actually fix this problem, this problem, this problem. These are 3 systems we install for all of these. And here are 4 examples of what that looks like. Case study 1, case study 2, case study 3. You could do a 7-minute video using this to say, hey, if you're here and you want to be here, these are the reasons why you're there. And that's why you suck right now. Right? Mm-hmm. Here is how we fix it. To fix number 1, meet Bob. This is how we fix Bob's thing here. We did this, this, and this, and now we're here. Let's go, Bob. Number 2, this. Number 3, this. Now you have someone, when they get to that call, they've already, by natural consequence of them showing up to that call and having had watched that, they have already said that what I saw in there is not something I don't want to buy. Mm-hmm. Right? Because no one in their right mind who watched that, or, if you have like an offer document or whatever else it is too, right? That we have we have a few different versions, right? Like we've got, I've got one YouTube video that we use quite a fair bit. I've got, which is also in the group too, which is just, this one, the pre-sale millions. Pretty long video. It's intentionally a long video. to literally walk through our whole process, step by step by step. I give the scripts away. I give the types of content away. I give the examples away. I go through literally everything, right? But the idea is like, if someone shows up to that call now, and this is just like a document version of that at the same time too. And I did a similar one for the birthday offer document too. It was like literally just walk through the offer, right? And the idea is that like, if someone shows up to that call, they have already pre-admitted, if they've gone through it, they've already pre-admitted that what I saw in that is not something that I don't want to purchase. Then it may not be 100% sold, but they've told you that through this whole process, they've agreed with your perspective. They've said yes to the thing in the first place. They've told you they have a problem. They've told you they want they've told you they want it solved. And now that you showed them the actual way that you're going to solve it for them by people, or showing them examples of people you've solved it with in the past, now you're in a world where by being on that call, they have pre-admitted that this is not a way I don't want to buy. And this is not a way I don't want to get done. And this is not a way that I don't want to have my problem solved. It's just about talking about what they saw in that thing that they really liked and made them want to show up, so that they can actually sell you on the reason that they want to buy on that call. Got it. Does that make sense? You bet. So the idea here is like, we have a pre-call conversion asset, and the best way to have a pre-call conversion asset, because this is where I called this the social pre-conversion funnel. What a fucking cool name, right? So like, this is like the top of funnel content, right? Which is all the stuff that you saw in here, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have middle of funnel content, which is the micro offers, right? Then you have direct messenger conversation, and then the pre-call conversion assets, which is the stuff that I just walked you through in terms of like, if you were to do a 5-minute video on this or whatever else that it is, that's like a pre-call conversion asset that gets them to go, oh shit, this is exactly what I could have wanted at the same time as well. So I think the question was a very simple, hey, how do I use this to actually make the most out of it? Boy, do I hope I answered that okay.
Now, this is awesome. This is not just giving me a fish. This is teaching me how to fish.
My goal is to help you think my goal is to help you how to understand how to think through this as well, and how to realize that this is probably like this used correctly is the whole foundation of the whole fucking business. Right. Because like, it also helps pre-sell people on the next problem you're going to solve with them and everything else too. If you ever have new team come in, you train them to this map so they can understand how we solve these problems and what problems we're solving for people. Right? It's like, this can be the whole business if you're allowed to be. Now, do you have questions or anything I just suggested from Daniel, or anyone else for that matter too? But we'll start with Daniel.
I don't think so. I appreciate it. I might in a while, but right now I think that makes good sense. I'll work on it.
Dude, as long as you have an idea as to where to go from here in this context too, right? Like, what's the biggest takeaway you took from it, or at least something that you saw from it that you think is immediately applicable, or at least like, oh shit, like this is something that would be really helpful for me long term, or I can see how I can make the most money in the world with this, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, give me a takeaway.
In the past, I have focused too much on how-to content.
Hey, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope it was tactical enough for you. I hope the scripts help, and I hope you actually get everything you want out of it. Now, if you are a high-ticket business owner and you would like to learn how we are helping our clients build 100K per month businesses, $1 million businesses, agencies, consulting companies, et cetera, and fix the main 3 points that most people are suffering with inside the business right now, which is volume of calls not being high enough, quality of calls not being high enough, those calls not converting, and then not having the right systems and procedures to get yourself out of the day-to-day and have good team come in. I want you to go and check this training out. It's the first thing to actually click on below. It is a step-by-step training on how we're actually helping clients fix those 3 problems, i.e. getting the right people on call, getting enough call volume for them, with people who know who you are, know what you do, actually trust you, and you can actually see the step-by-step content that we use, the actual scripting, and the actual way to pre-convert people before they get to a call as well. Watch it, implement, build $1 million business, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.